Good morning and welcome back to my channel here, Your Energy Works, here at Mulberry Farm. The birds sing in the background. This is episode 36 of my series. Please, if you haven't already, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. In the last episode I was speaking about the characteristics of persons who suffer from a spiritual malady, commonly referred to as mental illness. This is a mixture of resentments, fear and shame. I believe that we all suffer from a form of insanity, but we're not mentally ill. A definition for insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And I believe that's the way for most of us. We repeat the same action, hoping for a different result. We don't get a different result. This is the form of insanity. But we're not suffering from mental illness. We're suffering from a spiritual malady. We're disconnected from source. We don't know our purpose in life, we don't know our reason for living, we don't know why we're even striving to live. What's the point of it all? This can be very depressing, this can rob us of all hope. Now I believe the way we treat this spiritual malady is not helpful, it's not healing. My belief is that if talk therapy worked, after 6 to 9 sessions you would be healed of your demons and you go off and have your life. You would have processed in those sessions whatever is your problem, and you'd walk away and have your life. If you find you're in therapy for longer than 9 sessions, or you're there for a year, 2 years, then you're repeating the same practice over and over again, expecting different results and not getting them. The other way to do this is to suppress your emotions. When you have this trauma event and it's overpowering, we medicate. We take medication, prescribed medication, alcohol, drugs, and maybe a behavior, obsessive or compulsive behavior, bipolar behavior, anything to take us out of the moment. But in this process, we're not healing ourselves. We're giving ourselves a day reprieve. When the drugs, the behavior wears off, it comes back to bite us, and again we take more medication, more behaviors to suppress it. But this trauma event has to go somewhere, and that's the hole in the soul I was speaking to you about before. Unless we process it and heal it, it goes inside ourselves. I'm sure you've heard people saying, my fear is eating away at me, my anger is eating away at me, my anxiety is eating away at me. It's eating away at the very hole in our soul. When people have ulcers and cancers, there's no physical reason why they should have ulcer and cancers. It's not hereditary. It's down to we're holding on to a resentment or an anger or a frustration or a feeling of being a victim, and that eats away at our very insides, causing us ulcers and cancers. And the third process is to express this anger. Maybe you get to confront your tormentor, your abuser, and you get to speak to him and have your voice and let him know in no uncertain terms that he hurt you and he robbed you of your innocence or some such. But as they say in parts of the Caribbean, the crime doesn't fit the punishment. Suddenly you realise you've got to have your voice and speak, and there's relief in that for a moment, but then you equate those 6 words, are that equal to the terrible experience you had? And it's not. So you're still left with this event. You may have been heard, but the depth of the pain, only you know what that feels like. No one else can know your pain. You may think, well, let him suffer the same event I suffered. But then again, he may get through that event much easier than you did. You can't equate your pain with somebody else's pain. No one else can experience the pain the way you experience it. So you'll never feel as though you've got a fair result, fair justice. And then the sad side to this is, if we don't get to express this to our tormentor, God forgive us, we may dump it on our children, or our partner, or our parents, or our siblings, or our boss and colleagues, or our friends or neighbours. Maybe you come home from a heavy session with your therapist where you've been triggered, and you wake up next morning and you're full of anger and rage, and you walk outside and you want to go to work, but your neighbour's parked his car in front of your drive. And normally you'd walk around, you knock on the door and say, John, can you move your car please? But this morning you go around there and you attack the man verbally, and you give him an earful, and maybe it's righteous anger, but afterwards you're feeling really shame and guilt that you've dumped on your friend, your neighbour, over this parking. But also you've equated your pain with a car parked in your drive, and it's not equal. So now you have to take it back and make apology for that and feel the shame of having done that to another person. These behaviours we have don't heal. It's repeating the same process over and over again, expecting different results. We're playing God. We're trying to be God and manage everything and leave the healing of this to man. But it's not a man problem, it's a spiritual problem. It's a spiritual malady. So instead of playing God, we allow God in to heal us. we give it to God. That's simply and foremost what you do. You give your pain to God. You maybe go back to my episode, episode 34, and do the practice of giving it over to God. Now, because we've had this pain for so long, you give it to God for 24 hours at the most. Now, 24 hours might be too much. You go down to 8 hours or 3 hours, but you give it to God, and then you move on. And in the next episode, I'll show you how to move on. But for now, consider that maybe you're being insane rather than mentally ill. You're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. The decision now is to give it to God, let Him take it from you. So thank you very much for joining me this week. And in the next episode, I will show you, I will share with you how you can hand it over to God and how you can move forward from here.